Adding a custom monogram is a great way to personalize some of your home textiles. They also make a fantastic gift. That's what we'll be doing in today's video. Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. This channel is all about making sewing fun and approachable, and we're going to be doing a really quick and easy embroidery project. This napkin set is going to be a hostess gift for some friends, so come along with me and we will get started. I've got all of my supplies for hooping ready, and I'm going to explain everything. So I have this little clear plastic flexible ruler, and I'm going to try to link everything I can below in the description box. Some of these are affiliate links, and some of these products I actually sell in my own Etsy shop, like this air erasable and water erasable marker. This is one of my favorites for doing embroidery hooping and that sort of thing. I've got my magnetic hoop. This is a 4x4, and one sort of weird thing about this item is that this kind of drove me crazy. There are no markings on the hoop at all. My other embroidery hoops, there are little plastic arrows denoting the center point. There were actually none on this one, which was a little bit puzzling. If you're just doing random embroidery samples on items where the placement doesn't matter, that's fine. But on this one, it does matter. So I just thought that was a little weird. And that's something I would like to suggest to Brother. If you're making more of these hoops in the future, please put some sort of measurements on it, like even just center points. So I actually was able to find the center point on all four sides, and I used some painter's tape just to mark it because I was like, this is driving me crazy. I found out that the inside area here is just a tad over 5 inches. Did a little test stitch out on some canvas with some fusible stabilizer at the back, and then I found the center point on the sample, and then I used that to find the center point on the hoop. It took me a while to figure this out. I was like, what am I gonna do? So this is what I'm going to be stitching out today. Unfortunately, the Etsy shop I purchased the design from is no longer in business. I think they were international or something, so I have no idea what happened there, but this is a napkin. I got these napkins from Target a while ago. They're from that Chip and Joanna Gaines line, like the Hearth and Home. They're 100% cotton, and they're definitely square. So they're a little over 17 inches square. I want the little M monogram. These are gifts for a friend for Thanksgiving, and I want the M to be in the center and just a little over this little accent line here. So what you're gonna do is you want to take your napkin or other item you're hooping, fold this in half lengthwise. So whichever the long side is that you want to do. Then I'm going to take my marking pen here, just find this center point here, and I'm going to just mark a little dot here. So right where the center is here, I'm just going to mark a little dot, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side here. So just find your center point, like where you think is like the very center, and just mark a line. Now I'm going to unfold this. You already have kind of a guideline here, so this is good. I'll do this on the diagonal so you can see a little bit better here. And I'm going to take my ruler and just line up the dots here, and then I'm going to mark a line, just connect the dots here. And this pen will wash out, so after I embroider the napkins, I will be throwing them in the washing machine again. I did pre-wash these items just for the heck of it. I feel like a lot of the items I get from Target do have some shrinkage. All right, so I'm gonna make sure this lines up here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna connect these dots here. All right, did this slip out of place? Just a little bit, okay. Make sure that this does not slip out of place here. And you may need to do this twice just to make sure that your line is kind of bold. Okay, that kind of slipped out, but that's okay because this is towards the top. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this little template I made here. I'm going to line up the vertical lines here. How I'm lining this up is I've decided that I want the bottom of this little teal accent line and the edge of the template here. I want this measurement to be 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just gonna take this ruler here. Okay, so this is 3/4 of an inch here. I'm gonna mark 3/4 of an inch over here. I'm doing this so that all of the napkins have the same placement, which is a little bit tough. All right, so I'm gonna connect these dots here. This is actually where I'm gonna line up the bottom of the template here. So I want the bottom of the template to be about here. And this is all on the right side of the napkin here. I'm lining up the center vertical lines here, and then I'm lining up the bottom of the template along this line on the napkin. And you can use this method for any item, really. I'm just doing this as an example. This is about right. Let me just move this up just a little bit. And I want to make sure that this is 3/4 of an inch. Yep, okay. Now I'm going to trace all around the template here. And I might do another video just showing how I did this because this was kind of a pain in the butt. And it took a little bit of time to figure out how I was going to line items up in the hoop. And I was looking at Brother's videos on this product and I didn't really find any, so that was not super helpful. And it's okay if you get marks on the template. So these center lines here, and I'm gonna mark that also on the napkin as well. And the reason I'm doing this is because when I'm over at the embroidery machine, the needle is already at the center point. So if my needle goes down right at this spot, that's how I know that this is lined up correctly. And what I'm doing is I want to make sure that my design is hooped like this. So if this makes sense, I am going to be using, for the first time on this channel, I'm using Fusible tearaway stabilizer. This I got off of Amazon. It's from a brand called Brothread. I've had fairly good luck with it in the past. And one side is just regular, and then the other side has little glue dots on it. You'll definitely be able to feel and see the glue side. I'm going to flip over the napkin now, and I've already got my little mini iron preheated, and I want to do low to medium heat. So I learned this the hard way. You don't want to use high heat or too long of a time because you'll end up getting little glue residue on your project, which you don't really want. So use a low to medium iron and don't press it too long or too hard. So now I'm going to take the stabilizer, and this is just going to make it easier to hoop overall because you're not going to have things shifting around. Put this on the back, and again, the glue side is down, and this is the wrong side of the napkin. So you can see because the tag is here. All right, so now I'm going to take this mini iron, and I'm just going to start to like press this in place. And again, medium heat, nothing too intense here. So you can see it's tacked down, but it's not super strong, which is what you want. You want just sort of a light adhesion here. And I'll do this, I'll press from the other side next. Let's flip this over here. You can definitely sort of see the stabilizer on here. Again, these marks will come out. I don't want this to be too strong of an adhesion, too strong of a bond. So that's why I'm just using some medium heat here, just to get this sort of tacked down. It's got some adhesion, but it's not like super strong. So here comes the tough part, and that is trying to get this hooped. This is a little bit difficult. Oh, and the other thing is, because I want this excess from the napkin to be hanging off the end of the machine and not bunched up in the throat, I'm actually going to be hooping this kind of upside down, and I'm going to need to flip my embroidery design upside down as well. This is the part of the hoop that will go into the machine. I kind of made that mistake last night. I got everything all hooped, and then I realized I'd hooped it upside down. The easiest way to do it is try to line up the marks with the marks you made on the napkin, like this. Try your best here. You're gonna need to do some adjustments too, so that's okay as well. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but if you're like 98%, that's pretty good. This is sort of what I found works okay for me. Lay down your hoop like this. Okay, actually that's not too bad. You can see it's not totally perfect, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to try to pull this into place here. All right, here we go. Actually, that's not bad. All right, and I'm just gonna pull this way. So you can see my lines are now pretty lined up with everything going on. So that's actually what you want. So this is hooped now. I can't believe it actually went this smooth. So here's the back. And it made it a lot easier with the fusible stabilizer because I didn't have the stabilizer moving around and then the napkin moving around. Okay, so this is looking pretty good here. So I've got the marks lined up. And the real test will be, will the needle go down at this exact point? And again, for these napkins, it doesn't have to be like 1000% perfect, as long as it's pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna need to pull this a little bit this way. Okay, you can sort of work with it a little bit once it's in the hoop. It has a little bit of give to it, not a ton, but like enough where it might make a little bit of a difference. All right, let's head over to the machine and then we will continue there. We're over at the embroidery machine now. This is the Brother Skitch PP1. I've got some other videos on it if this is new to you. And I also have the Brother Art Spira app pulled up. I'm using the Plus version right now, but I'm doing the 2-month free trial. And good news is Brother has decided to move the feature where you can upload your own external embroidery designs and cut files and stuff into the free version of the app, so that is a good thing. So I've already uploaded my design. I'm doing an M monogram. It's technically 2 inches, but it's bigger than that. All right, so what I'm gonna do with the design is I'm going to pull it up in the app, and I need to flip it upside down. Now, if I stitch it out as is, it's going to be upside down on the napkin since I've hooped it upside down. So I need to click on the M and I need to move it, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, so it's upside down now. All right, I'm also going to change the thread color just for the heck of it to something close to the teal one I'm using. As I mentioned previously, I am using a thread stand with the machine. I've run into a lot fewer issues with it. If I just use the thread stand here, you can see, oh wait, actually you can't see that. Okay, so here is the thread. I'm using a teal color to sort of match the accent color on the napkin. All right, so we are okay. And I've already stitched this out previously, so I kind of know what's up. All right, we won't save this time because I only have like 2 to go. All right, so I'm going to transfer the design. All right, needle is down. Yeah, you're gonna have to do some stuff here. Okay, transfer. And the machine will prompt you if you need to do anything. You always have to go through that stupid screen about preparing the bobbin thread, which is kind of annoying, honestly. I wish you could skip that, but you can't. Okay, so now I need to attach the embroidery frame here. All right. So that is lined up here. Let me make sure everything looks good. And now is the real test is I will be able to see if my center point on the napkin lines up with the needle. And you know what, it pretty much does. It's not totally perfect. For this item, I'm not too worried. If it's like a few millimeters off or something, it's really not that big of a deal. I can sort of pull this a little bit too. Let's see here. Sort of pull this way a little bit. Let's see if that makes a difference. And then we'll be able to see this stitching out. Okay, it's pretty close. So I'm gonna go with it. I'm not too worried about it. All right, so now you just have to press the start stop button and then the design will be stitching out. I did tighten the tension a little bit. I was looking at my test sample and the upper thread seemed a little loose, so I did tighten it a little bit. Didn't really make that big of a difference, so I'm like, whatever. All right, let's try to start stop the machine and we'll get going here. And I actually did 2 napkins last night, so I was just making sure nothing went super bad. Yeah, it looks good. And you can see the progress bar in the app here. I've been trying out different designs and the applique files, some of them have gone a little funky. So I'm gonna do another video about that experience, but I wanted to show you an actual project on this machine. I do really like the magnetic hoop. I feel like I've been able to do projects faster and I don't have to float things over the hoop. The Fusible stabilizer is definitely a game changer for me. I am loving it. All right, we're getting close to the end now. This design takes about 9 minutes. Oh, and I'm using an Oregon Ballpoint 80/12 needle, I believe. That seems to work for me. And I'm using glide thread, I believe 40 weight. But this design is stitching out really nice. I didn't want the design to be super dense. When you are choosing embroidery designs, you do need to keep in mind how dense the embroidery design itself is, and then what type of fabric you're using. Some fabrics really won't work very well with super dense designs or even very dainty designs. So it really depends on the project. But I think this M monogram looks really nice. It's so weird. My last name begins with an M, and a lot of people I know happen to also have last names with an M initial, so it kind of works out. And we are done. Let's take it out of the hoop and see how it looks here. We're gonna take this out, and the machine did automatically trim the thread, so I don't have to do that. Another feature I wish this machine had is some type of lighting on it. Most sewing machines, even pretty inexpensive ones, have LED lighting, and this one does not have anything like that. And I feel like for the price, Brother could have thrown that on there and also added like a vertical spool pin as well. Let's take a look at the design. This is the back. I think it looks pretty clean. Again, the tension seems to be a little bit loose, so I tightened it up even more for my next napkin. Doesn't look bad. And since this is going to be kind of visible on the napkin, all I have to do is trim these threads here, and that's pretty much it. Let's do that now, actually. The design looks really clean, so it stitched out really nicely, and I think this was the perfect density for this material. Looking pretty good. How elegant is this? Just makes you look classy, you know? Let's unhoop it, and then I'll rip off the stabilizer and show you how to do that. All right, so I've taken this out of the hoop here. This is the Fusible tearaway. So you see, since I didn't really press it too much, look how easy this is coming off, but it did, you know, just do its job, which was to kind of stick to the napkin enough where it wasn't sliding around, and all I have to do is literally tear this apart. Really good, decent quality for, you know, I got a huge roll of it for not that much money off of Amazon. You're just gonna wanna try to tear off as many little bits as you can here. All right, here we go. But yeah, this comes off really easy. One of my napkins, unfortunately, has some glue residue on it because I think I used heat that was too high for the stabilizer. And some of this will also kind of come off in the, you know, as you're washing the napkins. And then this one, I just have to, this was on the inside, so I just have to sort of pick at it. So this might take you a little bit to just sort of pick it apart, but you can do it. Okay, so it'll come eventually. Just keep working at it. Don't pull too hard. And yeah, look how easy this comes off. But yeah, really nice product, and I can't believe I sat on Fusible stabilizer for so long. I was like, this has to exist, right? So I looked it up, and of course it did exist, and I ordered a bunch. So I'm gonna be trying out some new stabilizers here on the channel in some future videos. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so I'm actually going to launder these again just to get some of the papers off, and then yeah, you got a little bits, you got some little bits here. That will also remove the marks, but here is the towel, all embroidered. How nice is this? And then you can fold it like this. And then how nice will this look on a place setting for like the holidays or even for just your regular dinners too. This is a great beginner project if you just got your embroidery machine and you want to test it out on some smaller items like these napkins. You can use these for your own home for the holidays, or again, these will make great gifts as well, whether it's a housewarming gift or a holiday gift. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and check out some of my other embroidery machine videos. I have a lot of them, so if you're new here, this is a good place to start. Anyways, I'm Jen with the Sewing Report. I'll see you again in the next video, and remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.